Good morning, Limitless crew. Happy Monday. I hope you all had a fab weekend. We went camping. I got eaten alive by mosquitoes. We watched my nephew win the bronze medal game or match in soccer provincial. So that was super exciting. But today I want to talk about a mindset. It's a mindset training. And the topic of the live is never fall off track again. I have used that phrase, that term many a times. I try to correct myself because we can think about things differently, which I am going to chat about today. And with the summer comes a lot of social events, barbecues, weddings, camping, road trips, long weekends, lots of fun social events. And I often hear, I fell off track and I'm going to start again on Monday. And in my opinion, it is one of the most defeating sentences because basically you're telling yourself that everything you've been doing so far is pointless because now you're in the ditch, you're off track. So you'll need to start all over again, but you don't need to start from the beginning. The moment you use that language, your brain, shall I say, starts to spiral. You start to come up with negative affirmations towards yourself, that you have a hard time staying focused in the summer, or maybe your belief system is that you don't have good control in social settings, or you cave under social pressure, or maybe your belief is that you need to have alcohol to have fun. I used to think that. And I see this happen with those who struggle with the all or nothing mindset. Again, something that I have struggled with. I'll say I'm a recovering perfectionist and something that I am constantly working on improving. And one thing that I have been telling myself is that all or something is so powerful. A 5-minute walk is better than nothing. Prepping 2 chicken breasts for the next 2 days is better than nothing. Doing a 10 to 15 minute body weight workout when you're away from your regular gym equipment is better than nothing. So just something to keep in your back pocket. If you know yourself to be an all or nothing woman, switch that to all or something, because I will forever remind you that something is better than nothing. Now, let's get back on topic. Starting over every Monday, it diminishes or dismisses all the lessons and progress from the rest of the week, not just the weekend, right? It diminishes all the good that you have done earlier in the week instead of celebrating that. Starting over on Monday is just strengthening our negative belief that we don't have good self-control, that we cave under social pressure, that we struggle with consistency, that your diet isn't working, whatever you're telling yourself. But if you shift your mindset and just become genuinely curious about your behaviors and habits, that is so, so powerful. We're on autopilot a lot of the time, and we don't often take the time to reflect. Ask yourself, what led to the choices that you made? How did you feel before and after? Are there any patterns? There's usually a lot of patterns. Are there triggers? There's typically triggers that you notice. What can you learn from this in the future? Awareness is so powerful because then you can start to change some of those routines, behaviors, choices, habits. Do you need to set boundaries with certain things? You can learn from that. And instead of starting over on Monday and acting like you have to start over from the beginning, you can allow yourself, like I said, to get curious, to get inquisitive, and to learn from your, shall we call them, mistakes or slip-ups. That self inquiry will go a long way. And you have to understand that self-inquiry and self-judgment are not the same thing. Your slip-ups, your mistakes are revealing, like I said, the triggers, the habits, the environmental and situational cues, so you can use them as opportunities to grow. Letting go of this falling off track mindset is what allows us to go with the flow, to go with life and realize that our choices might not always align with our goals, but self-judgment it's not helpful. Curiosity is. Approaching yourself with curiosity can help you get back in alignment, and that is a word I like to use, in alignment. And I'd way rather use that word alignment than falling off track. Maybe you need to realign yourself with your goals on Sunday night. And actually, maybe it's more important to realign with your goals on like Thursday or Friday. If you find yourself veering off path or out of alignment on the weekends, then having a journal sesh on Thursday or just prepping food. I think that is a big part of people's slip-ups on weekends is nutrition. Typically not activity, but if you find yourself that repeatedly doing this, then something has to change coming into the weekend from a mindset perspective and physically actually being ready. And prepping yourself on Thursday before you go into the weekend, it's just fresh in your brain, right? As opposed to, of course, goal setting on Sunday. If you're able to take a few minutes on Thursday or Friday and realign yourself with your goals leading up into the weekend, it's going to look probably more enjoyable because you won't come out of the weekend feeling guilty, ashamed, frustrated, maybe unworthy. And those are a lot of the feelings that we end up with, even though we had a lot of fun. We feel resentful, we feel frustrated, we feel uncomfortable. And I say I'm talking about myself. I'm just sharing my personal opinions and feelings, but I know that I'm definitely not alone in feeling that way. And I would say that is confirmation enough that we're not in alignment with who we want to become and what we're working towards if we are leaving the weekend or entering a new week with those feelings. So few shifts here. Get curious. Get curious about why you are repeating certain behaviors if you want to change. Think about all or something rather than all or nothing, and focus on switching your language to in alignment or committed to rather than falling off track, because I feel, in my opinion, it just has more of a negative connotation than focusing on alignment. So hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and let's freaking crush this week, ladies. Have a good one.